Hi, I'm Ruth and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Maya and I'm in 10th grade.
Hello, my name is Ishmael Beah and I'm a UNICEF ambassador and advocate for children affected by war and conflict, and I'm from Sierra Leone originally.
Were you scared for your parents or too caught up in getting yourself away?
Well, I was, in the beginning when the war reached me, I just needed to run, you know. When you hear gunshots, when your town or village is attacked, you don't have very much time to think about brothers, sisters, or family. You just run for your life. And then after that running stops, then you begin to worry about it. So that's when I began to worry. But also because in the beginning, because I didn't know where my parents was, also gave me the courage to try and find them. So more to run and try to see where they were.
What did the rebels do to make you fight?
What did they do to make me fight? First of all, there was coercion. There was no choice. You have no choice once you find yourself amongst any group. They pretty much will recruit you, and you have no choice of leaving. And so there was that. If you left, they will shoot you, and that was done on many instances that made people realize that young people that you couldn't escape. And then apart from that, there's this rhetoric of revenge, because everyone was angry for losing their family. And of course there's the drugs that you're forced, and then there's the trauma of seeing death constantly. So all of these things push you to embrace violence.
How did you feel when you were released from the rebels?
I was very, I was not happy when I was released from the fighting, because I felt that I was being removed from a family, from a unit that I'd become so accustomed to, that I began to think of as my family. And I didn't know what else was possible in my life besides this violence and this war that I'd become a part of. So when I was removed, I was very angry. For a while I was very angry because I didn't know where I was going, and that uncertainty made me quite angry.
How did you feel about coming to America?
How did I feel about coming to the United States? Well, the first time I came to the United States, I never thought I would come to the United States. You know, everything in my life after the war was one big surprise after another, you know, and also in extreme circumstances in the sense, because I didn't know anyone who lived in the United States. I never dreamed in my wildest dreams that I would come to the United States, and all of a sudden I was on the plane coming. Yeah, you know. And the first time I came here was during winter, so I actually didn't think I ever wanted to come back. I went back slowly because I was coming from a very warm climate. So, but when I finally came to live here, it was difficult. You know, different culture, different ways people function, all kinds of things. You know, so I had to learn certain things. You know, but at the end of the day, I began to appreciate being here. But I was worried.
What did it feel like to be among people of your own age in Eunice?
Being with people of my own age in Eunice, it was very interesting to be in Eunice, so to even be in New York generally, because first of all, when I was there, a few teachers knew about my background, but all of the students had no idea that I'd had such an experience. So, of course, I went through the same kind of thing that everyone goes through, but I think some people began to realize there was something very strange about me, because I was one of the people who would not get angry about anything, who didn't really take to heart what anyone said about me, because I always thought they were all funny. These kids would pretend to be tough and what have you and all this stuff. And during exams and during papers, people would be like, you know, stressed out, and I'm always laughing, be like, why are we always laughing? And I just say, why? You do your best. It's not, because I was coming from a background that I knew that you can work hard, but it's not the end of your life if you don't really submit that paper, you know. So I had a different perspective on things, and so I think people began to say that I was strange. This is what I got, unusual, strange, but I really didn't care. It was interesting to observe what I would have been like if I had grown up in this society, and if I had grown up the way they had grown up to see, you know. But it was great to be here.
Did it take you a while to adjust to a more or less normal life?
Yes, it took a very long time. After I was removed from the war, I went to a rehabilitation center where I was for 8 months. And then even when I left that rehabilitation center, I still continued therapy, psychosocial therapy. And even when I came to the US, I still continued because I needed, there were still certain things from the war that were tormenting me very much. You know, I still having nightmares. For example, when I was in the United States, July 4th was very horrible time for me because I didn't like the sounds. It reminded me of other things, you know. So I had to find ways to adjust my life to the new realities and certain things that were going on, you know, in my life, you know. For example, my mother, Laura Sims, the woman who took me into her life, it took over 2 years before I could call her mom. I couldn't do that. So there are so many things that I had to adjust to doing, you know, and to understanding.
Was it really hard to remember the events while you were